Governor Jan Brewer is weighing in on the state's birth control bill. It would let employers opt out of insurance coverage for birth control based on their religious beliefs. Women could get the pill for other medical reasons, but would have to prove they need it. Today, Brewer said she sees how the bill could make women, quote, uncomfortable. She admitted she has not yet studied the bill and does not know whether she would sign or veto it.
People pushing for the new law say it's to help employers retain religious freedom by not forcing them to pay for contraception they may not agree with. But a specialist in employment law tells KGUN-9 on your side the law could create a world of new problems for any employer trying to use it. Our Craig Smith is here with an explanation.
Jennifer, if the bill does become law, it could apply to large, sophisticated Catholic hospital groups, for instance, with large legal and HR departments to implement it. And it could apply to very small companies with no budget for legal help. But an employment attorney tells us that bill could give lawyers a workout. For 10 years, Arizona law has given religious organizations like churches the right to not cover contraception. The proposed new law would extend that to companies like Catholic hospitals and to any employer with a moral objection to birth control. Bishop Gerald Kakanis has not been involved with the proposed state law. He has been very active in a national debate with federal authorities. The issue, whether Catholic organizations, which serve more than Catholics, can still deny employees contraceptives based on Catholic doctrine against birth control.
This is not an issue about contraception. It's not an issue about partisan politics, although it has become a partisan issue. For the church, it is a concern about a government's intrusion into the right of a religion to define how it will serve others.
The woman who sponsored Arizona's bill says it's about freedom for employers and says opponents are spreading lies that it would let a boss fire a woman for using birth control.
The employer would not be asking an employee if they use contraceptives or not, and they certainly could not fire them. My bill does nothing of that sort.
But employment attorney Don Awerkamp says the proposed law does remove protection against firing over religion.
But there are other protections for employees in the Arizona Civil Rights Act, for example, which they haven't touched yet.
Awerkamp thinks the bill opens the door for employees with religious beliefs against smoking and alcohol, for example, to apply them to employees.
It's really inviting employers to look at their employees' religious beliefs and see how they contradict with their own and try to manipulate those religious beliefs by making it more financially difficult for them to live in accordance with their own.
Now, while Awerkamp says state and federal civil rights law should protect an employee against firing over religion, you could have to sue to prove that, and an employee or a small business owner may not have the resources to do that.
Craig, if this started out over religious objections to birth control, how does the attorney think it's going to expand to something like smoking?
Well, Awerkamp says it puts religious objections to birth control over religious objections you may have to smoking, alcohol, and such. And he thinks that an employer who wanted to push it could use that concept to expand the law to cover other things.
Boy, certainly a whole can of worms, isn't it? And we'll see what happens. All right, Craig, thanks so much.
Another bill targeting men's sexual health is grabbing headlines. Ohio lawmaker Nina Turner is fed up with bills targeting women's health. So she introduced a measure that would make men see a sex therapist and meet other criteria before getting a prescription for Viagra and other erectile dysfunction drugs.
For far too long, female legislators have abdicated their responsibility to tell men what they need to do with their bodies.
Here at KGUN-9, we give viewers a voice. Our question of the day, do you agree with Turner's proposal requiring men to meet with a sex therapist to get a prescription for Viagra or other ED medications? Take our online poll at KGUN9.com.